set in with me that it's finally over.
Over 2 decades.
Yes.
What was that time for you like? Especially, it must have been frustrating knowing, hey, I didn't do this.
Yeah, it was, it's a roller coaster ride. Sometimes it's like you think something's going to happen good, and then, the state will file something, and then it goes back down, and then up and down, and, so, and then time, it's like, time stops. If, my life stopped at 19. So then I come out at 42, and it's like, it's crazy.
Can you take us back to when you were 19? Whatever you're comfortable with, just how everything just kind of happened.
I didn't think it was real at 19. I knew I was a suspect, but I didn't really take it seriously because, I didn't do this. I didn't commit the crime, so I was like, whatever. And then it got serious, and it was like, it just floored me. I didn't know what to expect, what to do. Nobody in my family had ever been in any trouble like that, and I don't know, it's scary.
Yeah, when the conviction came through, that was...
When the conviction came through, it was the worst day of my life. So, I don't know, it was like everything is, I knew my life was over. And then you can't do anything, so it's like, you've got to go to prison, and I don't know, it was just, hold on.
How did you hold faith? How did you just not give up? I mean, it sounds like you were pretty adamant you were innocent the whole time. Like, there was no wavering. How did you do that?
A lot of prayer. My faith is what kept me strong. And, I honest to God in my heart feel like God protected me my whole time there. And my family, my mom, my dad, they never left my side. They spent their family fortune. Everything they had, they gave to try to get me home. So.
What's next for you?
I don't know. It's like, when I came home, when I finally got bond, I haven't stopped. I just consume myself in work and try to stay positive and try to put the possible trial in the back of my mind, because that was a huge cloud. And so I don't know, I want to travel. I want to go places. I want to see the world. I sit in there for many years, and it's like, I've read, I educated myself, I speak different languages, and, I want to go places.
You learned these languages while you were in prison? What
Yes,
languages?
ma'am. Portuguese.
Ooh, lovely.
And Spanish, so, but yeah, I want to travel.
What's the first thing you did when you were able to get out?
So the first thing I did, we every now and again I worked at the Georgia State Patrol, so every now and again they would feed us, they would bring us food and stuff like that. But when I got out, my mom took me straight to McDonald's. She said, "You gotta have a frozen Coke. You ain't had one of these." And I'm like, "Okay." So I got a frozen Coke and got to look over the menu, and it was like, when I seen how the McDonald's was set up, when I left, it was nothing like that. And I was like, how do you go through here? She's like, just relax. So that was the first thing that I actually done.
How much did you hear about, the Georgia Innocence Project getting involved, but also undisclosed podcasts? Like, I don't know if we would be here without a podcast. And I'm sure when you went in, you didn't even know what a podcast, I don't think they existed.
They did not. So, a quick bit about that. Claire Gilbert, she was coming to see me for the Innocence Project, and the Innocence Project was kind of in trouble. You know, they didn't have funding, and she was actually spending money out of her own pocket to help me. And she told me, she said, "I'm not going to give up on you. You know, I'm going to keep fighting for you. I'm going to come up with something." And she came back and seen me about 3 weeks to a month later, and she was like, "Got a question." And she was like, "Do you want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "A what?" She said, "A podcast." And I was like, "What is a podcast?" And she said, "It's kind of like a radio station." And I was like, "Okay." And she told me, she was like, "They're gonna, they'll send a bunch of investigators down, and, you know," she said, "I believe in you wholeheartedly, but trust me when I tell you they're gonna turn over every stone, they're gonna turn over every stone." I said, "That's fine. I don't have anything to hide. Please do." So that, you know, the podcast opened the door for me.
And Joey, I've seen that video, you know, when the judge finally, you know, when the exoneration happened. It's emotional. In that moment, you know, was it hard to believe, or were you like, you know, what was going through your mind then?
I don't know. It didn't feel real. You know, it's like I can actually go home. You know, you fight for something and you hold on to something for so long, and sometimes it's almost like a dream. It's like you're just shooting for something that might never happen. And, you know, I looked at Christina and Megan and I was like, I got a bond. And they were like, "Yeah." And it was just, I don't know. It was crazy.
Christina, for you guys, I mean, what does this mean for the Georgia Innocence Project?
Georgia Innocence Project has been working for Joey. Oh, sure. Georgia Innocence Project has been working for Joey for years, and we've kind of become, you know, like a family. And so we approach all of our cases like that. And it's on a personal level, it's really amazing to have Joey home and, you know, get to know Joey outside of prison, because the first, 8 years that we communicated, Joey was in prison. And so now he's home with his family, and just kind of seeing him out and being able to, now especially that the charges are completely gone, you know, the DA has recognized that there's no evidence to try Joey, and he's finally all the way free. It's really incredible on, you know, a personal and professional level. So we're just really excited for Joey and his family.
From a legal standpoint, can you just highlight that of, he was granted bond in January. Yesterday, though, was the true exoneration. Like, can this case ever come back around? If so, how? I mean, what was the significance of yesterday?
So I was going to clarify that. The video is from January, and that was from Joey's bond hearing. And how that happened is we won Joey's habeas case in 2022. And we went to the Supreme Court, and we won in the Supreme Court. And then we came back to Floyd County to try to get Joey out of prison on bond. And that happened in January. So that's the video from the courtroom. The dismissal of the charges was much quieter, which is fine, because we just want them dismissed, and we're very grateful that the DA exercised her discretion to do that. So yesterday, the significance of yesterday is that Joey has been out of prison for 8 months, but Joey has been living every day with murder charges still hanging over his head, knowing that he is an innocent person and that there's no way the state can prove a case against him. And so now the DA has recognized that and publicly stated that they do not have evidence to try Joey again, and they won't be doing that. So it's a great outcome.
Do you want to say something on behalf of the family and how grateful you guys are?
We are absolutely the happiest we've ever been to have him home, and just to never let anybody take him away from us ever again.
What was it like waiting and just not knowing where this process would end?
Awful. It was really hard. Everybody just was hoping and praying that somebody would just see that this man is innocent and somebody would listen and hear us and know that we're telling the truth, you know. He deserved that, and I'm really glad that he's finally got that, and now he gets to live his life that he deserves to live.
Chloe says she's going to take me to the Trump Towers.
Yes, we're going everywhere. We're going to New York, going to the beach. We got lots of traveling to do. Lots of fun to have.
I think when you ask me what are my plans, I think my plans may be made for me by several different people. So
she talked about sending you. She would travel and send you, and you would go along with her pictures and all.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited to go with her now?
oh yeah, it's I'm grateful.
Joey, I'm curious, after all of this, after 20 plus years, do you have more faith in the justice system, seeing organizations like the Georgia Innocence Project get involved, or do you have less faith because you shouldn't have been there arguably in the first place?
I can say this. I have faith that people will do the right thing in the right situation. I think the justice system is still broken. I really do. And the hope for, as an inmate or a prisoner, the hope for us, if we have no money, if we have no help, that is the organizations like the Innocence Project. So as they grow and they get bigger and they have more help, that's what I have faith in. I think the system needs to be reformed because, just like the DA's office now, the people that are in the DA's office now, they were not the people that done what they did to me. So, I'm grateful for them actually taking time to really look at the real evidence. And, but, maybe one day they'll reform it and get it fixed. With people like the Innocence Project, that's not out of the realm. So maybe.
Anything else you want to get across that we didn't ask about?
No. If there are men inside the prison that watch this, don't give up. Don't give up, because I was told 2 or 3 different times, you'll never get out. Your appeals are done. It's over. Don't give up. Just keep fighting. To the families too. And maybe one day, I pray that the Dawkins family will do what the DA's office did and sit down and look at the whole case. And I stand on what I told them 20-something years ago. I didn't do this. I did not take your son. Please look at the evidence. That's all I ask.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It was wonderful.
Awesome.
It's good.
Job.
You did so good.
Yeah, good job. You're ready to get